Hey there, neighbor. Could I borrow 237 milliliters of sugar? I'm so sad. SupEx is so disappointed in me. Generally, I'm so smart-like, but then sometimes the redneck in me just jumps out, and I do something silly like try to measure something with my feet. All they tried to do was say that Americans that didn't measure things with the metric system were morons or ignorant. Then I had to go and think for myself and express an independent evaluation that was disagreeing, and well, I'm on the shit list now. Why? Why must you make fun of my foreign ways? Mama says Supex is just jealous. What's he got to be jealous about with me? One, I could use more than one system of measurement. I'm ambimetric. Two, SupEx said that anybody that had, a 12-inch long foot, that they were a freak. But, I've got two 12-inch long foots on my body. And you know what they say about big feet? I got big socks. Three, SupEx says that, his right arm is a meter long. But my arms, they're proportional to my body. He must run like a gazelle. Not fast, but, on all fours. I remember one time on the TV, on the news, it was the Saturday Night Live news, they were talking about a metric alphabet. There would be 10 letters in the normal Roman alphabet. One of the things that I thought was interesting about it was that Elemento was one of the letters, which they thought was convenient for all the people that already thought it was one letter. Now, one of the examples that SupEx used was that a system of measurement is a tool, and he said that, if you're going to screw in a screw, if you could use a screwdriver, or you could be a primitive savage and use your nail, and that both of them would work. However, I think he's missing an important point. I don't think that screw example works too good, except for, to support his argument that people are morons and ignorant. I would say that the better tool example was looking at a mallet, regular claw hammer, and a sledge. SupEx's argument is that you only get to choose one tool. But I tell you what, if you ever tried to use a sledge to hang up a picture, you know that sometimes you need to suit your tool to the job. That's what I'm saying. At least that was fun for me. And hopefully I've gotten all that out of my system. Let's deal with, what SupEx said when he talked about how disappointed he was in me and how I'd let him down. Essentially, his point was that what I had said was that I don't like the Celsius system. He didn't use that voice, but it's funnier that way. So SupEx's point is that I just asserted it as my whim, as my fancy, that, I don't like it because I'm an emotional person that just responds based upon whatever my subjective whim is at the time. And he said, take a couple days. Go back, reread what you wrote. Is that really what you meant? And I checked it, and yeah, there was a couple typos in there, but I think it's pretty accurate. In fact,
for what's allowed to be fit in a comment, I think I did a pretty good job. I'll put the comment to the side so you can judge for yourself. So SupEx says that metric, in every case ever conceived, is superior to Imperial, which is just an irrational system based upon people that are stuck in some primitive state of mind. And I disagreed. And in disagreeing, I didn't just say, what can we? No, I gave some specific references. In my disagreement with Celsius, I said, as a measure of ambient temperature, which refers to weather. It refers to the temperature in your house. Later in comments that may have been posted after his video, I even expanded that to say that Fahrenheit was better than Celsius related to measuring human body temperature related to health, fever. Now, in fact, SupEx actually conceded this point to Cousin McCool, who talked about the granularity of the Fahrenheit system. And so SupEx said, that granularity really was, in some ways better than Celsius. But he conceded that superficial point and failed to understand the more fundamental truth that was involved, which was referred to in my comment, which he said provided no justification for my disagreement with Celsius. So what did I say? I said that these imperial measures were related to human experience, that they're not based upon water, and that for living life as a human in reality, that measures that are on a human scale are relevant. To tell you the truth, I really didn't think that was such a controversial point that I had to explain myself in depth. But I guess I was wrong. What's the nature of SupEx's error? It relates to his interpretation of my comment. It relates to his statements talking about metric versus imperial. In fact, it's an error that he makes frequently. That is that he takes things out of context. So to spell it out in summary for those people that really need that, Fahrenheit was developed as a system on a human scale. He used 0 as the lowest temperature that he had ever measured. He used 100, or according to some stories 96, as his own personal body temperature. And then he segmented up that range to set the degrees. So Fahrenheit is a system of measure based upon a human scale. Celsius, of course, was defined based upon 0 being when water freezes, and 100 when water boils. So if I'm water, I care about Celsius. But if I want to know what to put on today, or if I want to know if my kid's sick, I'm going to use a system of measurement based upon a human scale, like Fahrenheit. So that would be why I would say that Fahrenheit, as a system of measure for that specific context, is superior to metric. One last thing, I'm not hating on SupEx. I love you, man.